Hello, IDG team in Japan. My name is Åsa Jarskog, and I am the director for global collaboration of the IDG team in Stockholm. I'm very happy to send you this greeting today when you're having this important meeting. We're all here out of a frustration that the world is not becoming more sustainable. We have goals, we have a framework, and we're not getting there. What are we doing wrong? What we have realized is that we have a crisis in the world that is not related to technology or resources. It's a human crisis of disconnection. People have become disconnected to themselves. People have become disconnected to other people. And there is a disconnection to environment and society. And that's what we call a systemic disconnection. So what we want to achieve is a reconnection on individual level, in organizations, in the services of the organizations, and we want a reconnected system and society. This is why we founded the Inner Development Goals. And today we have partners all over the world, in academia, in government, in private sector, in civil society. And I'm very proud to work for the IDG global team in Stockholm. We just launched our new logo, and we hope that you will download it from our website and use it in your IDG work. And as you all know, we are still working with the 5 important dimensions of the IDGs. First, being, how we relate to ourselves. Personally, I think the inner compass is the most important one here. To know why we are doing things and not accord to rules, but to our values. The second dimension are cognitive skills, thinking, to be able to keep our critical thinking, especially today when we are bombarded with fake news. Relating in the middle, caring for other people, caring for the world. To feel empathy and compassion is actually something we can practice. Collaborating, our social skills, they can be sharpened. We can become better at communicating, and we can actually work on our trust. We have a trust crisis in the world currently. And finally, all these dimensions are great, but without acting, they're only nice to have. We need to act, we need the courage, we need to be creative, have optimism, and we have to hang in there. This is the current framework of the IDGs, but as you know, we are currently reworking the framework to make it more adapted to the different truths and priorities in different parts of the world. And I hope that you will also complete the global survey so that we can ensure that this also becomes relevant for Japan. One thing I would like to share with you is an update on what we're doing in the global work. We have recently run a 1-year pilot and a 1-year fully fledged program called Global Leadership for Sustainable Development. This could be realized with the help of the Templeton World Charity Foundation. It was a capacity development program run in 12 different countries in Asia, Africa, Eastern Europe, Balkans, and Latin America. The objectives of this program was to facilitate systems transformation, that important change we need on the systems level, through the integration of inner development on individual level, on organizational level, and on systemic levels. And we were trying to do that by creating a critical mass of organizations in each country from public sector, private sector, civil society, and academic sectors. This is what we call a multi-stakeholder approach. And the critical mass we call minimum viable ecosystems. So we worked on individual level so that individuals could integrate in the development into their daily life. But more importantly, not to stop on the individual level. The real capacity of the IDG is actually when you bring it into organizations and practice it in the way you work in organizations. And you can actually integrate it into the services of the organizations. And eventually, where the real potential of the IDGs is when you integrate it on systems level. So we had actually learning objectives on different levels for this program. And we are very soon going to publish our report from the evaluation on our website. And I'm very happy to say that we have some amazing results. In order to integrate the inner development into organizations, we also had to take into consideration that some organizations are old-fashioned. So we needed to translate the IDG language into the more old-fashioned organizational language so that it was possible to integrate in the development into the not only the operations and services of the organizations, but actually into the strategies, working from the context to the analysis, to the objectives, to the integration, and measurable impact, and measuring it against the Sustainable Development Goals, of course. That's how the organizational transformation was organized. Because just like our brain has a right-hand side and a left-hand side, where the one is logic and the other one is emotional, so do organizations. So it's actually what we needed to do was to wake up the emotional side of organizations. In this program, we also worked in some countries with how inner development can be integrated, not only in separate organizations, but into the systems through the integration of inner development in public services and public policies. We did this through training sessions, sharing your experience. We had in-country workshops in selected countries, prototyping and peer coaching, and they're still sharing their experiences with each other. And you're most welcome to join that crowd. Just reach out to me and we'll be happy to integrate you into the group if you're working with policy development. Can you imagine if every educational policy in the world was actually promoting IDGs in the school systems? Or if the health systems included IDGs, meaning that everything we do in our health system should also put the human in the center of the services provided. In the policy development component, of course, we had to follow the same steps that any policy development process does, but integrate the inner development goals into every part of that process. And I just came back from a policy development workshop in Albania, where the parliament had a very successful 2-day workshop on how to integrate inner development. What we're trying to do in the inner development goals is to also to ensure that it's not only about some individuals here and there working with inner development, but actually make it institutionalized into the organizations, the systems, and society as a whole. And to do that, we see a process in each country where in the beginning, the organizations don't really know each other and the people don't know each other. Eventually, they start collaborating and working together and form some kind of coalition. And eventually, we would like each country to select one focal point, let's say a chairperson but on organizational level, that for 1 or a couple of years will be chairing the coalition. meaning keeping it together, serving it, helping it, and also being the channel between us and the other organizations. Of course, this organization has to be selected by the countries by the organizations in the country and not by us. We have some specific criteria, which is on our website, but the most important is that the center is serving the ecosystem in the country concerned. So we hope that this could have been an inspiration for you on how to go further with your work with IDGs in Japan. It's not only about us as individuals, it's a lot about the rest of the society. Through organizations, we can have much more impact. And if we can get in the development into policies, that's where the real magic will happen. Thank you very much.